The Xenomorph is vegan. Something to debate.
I think you're alone in that. I'm Noah Hawley.
And I'm David Zucker.
And this is Seen It All on Disney+.
What drew you to this project?
I mean, in adapting the film, you always have to look and see if there's enough there, thematically, character-wise, to stretch out over 10, 20, 50 hours. And here, it's actually a very complex film, Ridley's film. Class warfare element to it, workplace drama, questions of AI, and the fact that once the creature is loose on the ship, that we're both running from our past, and then suddenly the future is also trying to kill us. There's a lot of elements of technology and these existential questions about how does the individual cope against a faceless system that it works for. So there's so much here that's what drew me to it, is that I could then take all of my own concerns about the world and impose them on the show.
What drew me to the project was Noah. His mind, his craftsmanship, his filmmaking acumen, and his unique ability to be able to take something with which we may have some familiarity and create something entirely new that provides an experience that has some real emotional resonance, but at the same time takes you to unexpected places.
Are there any sneaky Easter eggs hidden that fans can try and spot?
I think that's a yes or no question, and the answer is yes. But I don't want to spoil it for them.
Looking back, is there a moment that you're especially proud of?
The responsibility with this franchise and this sense of obligation I feel to, some of the greatest filmmakers of all time before me, James Cameron and Ridley Scott and David Fincher, those obligations as well, but mostly to the fans, right, of really trying to give them that experience, showing the first hour to 6,500 people who were in rapt attention the whole time. It's in that moment that you really take in the enormity of what we've accomplished. You know, in telling what for me is a very idiosyncratic story of my own issues about, as a father, of raising children and sending them out into the adult world, and who are their role models and what is the world they're entering, and then translating that into a science fiction story about children whose minds have been placed into adult bodies, and then you throw in a few xenomorphs and some other creatures, and you have an alien show that is both a human drama about what it means to be human, as well as a horror action entertainment.
There are some iconic aliens in the show. What was the process of ideating a new one?
We started from a story level with the functionality. The thing that makes the monster from Alien so iconic is that it's not just one monster. It's an egg, it's a face hugger, it's a chest burster, it's a xenomorph. It's that life cycle, it's that evolution of the creature. What I needed to do in order to give you the feeling watching the show that you had watching that movie for the first time, I had to bring back the sense of discovery, the revulsion of every stage of the development. And so in looking at new creatures, the question was, well, what do they do that's worse than the last thing? I mean, it starts off as a sort of parasitic thing and then comes out of your own body and then becomes something big enough to eat everybody else.
Does the Xenomorph eat you?
Me, personally?
Well,
I think that's one of the big questions. We don't know what it eats. I've never seen it eat someone.
No, it doesn't eat.
It takes some bites.
It could be a vegan like our Xenomorph player was vegan.
Yeah.
Kind of interpreting that now as the Xenomorph is vegan. But
got it.
Something to debate.
I think you're alone in that.
Okay.
What's been the biggest challenge while filming?
The scale of this production, the distant location, filming in Bangkok, the weather's an element that, my biggest call sheet was 750 people.
It's hard to say a biggest challenge. It's more like there are progressive challenges, especially because of how broad and at the same time how specific the world is that Noah is trying to capture. You need to be authentic to the world as to the degree that we're familiar with it already, but then at the same time, Noah's building on top of that world in a truly substantial way. It's such an interesting opportunity, I think, for a storyteller to be able to capture and sort of honor what he first encountered as a young person and has stayed with him and sort of marinated in his mind over the years, but then to have both sort of the courage of conviction, but the vision to say, how does this really create both a relevance and an immediacy in the story, in the world that we're living in now. There's a great integrity and a great honesty to the stories he tells.
He hates me, in other words.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till this is over.
What do you hope fans will take away from the series once they've seen it all?
I hope fans will take away a whole new thrill and pleasure in encountering this world. This is the kind of story, and this is the kind of cinematic experience that people will be breathless for. Thanks for watching. FX's Alien Earth is now streaming on Disney+.